everyone, this is Kristen Zangerly, and I chose to focus on reflective writing, which is mentioned in chapter 2, starting on page 47. The biggest things I took away from the reflective writing was when I typically think of reflective writing, I thought of it more of the simple terms, it makes up personal histories and, our unique response to different knowledge we may have accumulated or different situations, and then how we reflect upon it. But I really liked how they went more in depth in the book and really dug into what reflective writing can truly mean. And it's not just about the input of existing knowledge, as they said in the book, but it's also about the output of newly synthesized knowledge. I just thought that line was really huge, and that was my main takeaway, that it's not as simple as we think it can be. I mean, we're finding, like they mentioned, new depths of interpreting information and how we react to certain things, and I really liked how they mentioned being mindful. I think especially in today's society, everyone's very quick to react. What is your reaction? More of what information I've actually learned and how I can apply this in my life now. I also wanted to focus on reflection because I'm trying to get into journaling, and I thought this really hit the ball, and just reading through it helps me be more motivated to start that process. My favorite word they used to describe or a different, meaning of reflection, mine was manifestation, because I just believe we have so much power in what we bring into our lives and what happens in our lives. Obviously, we have God in our faith, but you also can take the time to better yourself, and that's really all what reflective writing is about. So I just find that so interesting. The article I related to was, I just chose the poem of the day on the Poetry Foundation, The Mechanics of Men by David Thomas Martinez. It was a very deep poem. I recommend any of you reading it. Again, it was just the poem of the day for today's date, July 10th. I'm just going to read a little suburb from it. I've never been the most mechanically inclined of men. Wrenches, screwdrivers, or shovels have never made nice with me in the shipyard. I worked alone in the dark deep in the biological frigates. For 2 months, I hooked a torch to an oxygen tank with a green line and pulled a red hose through both codes to gas. Moving forward within the poem, he starts talking about how his father was, manual labor, and he was more of a scholar, and he was very resentful towards his father because they didn't have that connection. He always felt like second best in the family. And then also his parents ended up in divorce. She was a teen mom, very young parents. And it's just his whole reflection on how he believed that his father, he was not the favorite child because him and his father did not have the same mechanics of men. He wasn't a manly man. He wasn't working on, he wasn't in manual labor, and just, how he reflected upon that and how it affected him as a person. It made him feel less than, which no one ever wants to feel, but what a great way to express that through this poem. So again, I would suggest any of you to read this. Within the reflection in that, he goes into depth, regarding, I'm not mad for being the second favorite son at the end. Can't regret saying, his summer spent with his dad was that bad, but it's just more of his outtake and reflection of what they were speaking about in the book. And I want to, again, take that within my writing, especially with journaling. I really would love to begin weekly journaling within that. And then within that, everything that the book mentions, just taking upon what reflection truly means. And, the idea to take raw information that you've just learned about, or also things you already know about, and to reflect upon that, just to give yourself a more broad, just a more broad lookout, a more broad perspective on life and yourself, and becoming your truly best version of yourself. I think reflective writing has all to do about that, and that's why I chose this subject. So thank you for listening. Hope you have a great night.